Good evening, everyone. Buenvenidos, and welcome to the September 2024 City Council meeting. Tonight's meeting is being held here in City Council chambers, is being streamed live on City 12 TV, as well as on the City Council's YouTube and Facebook pages. We also continue to post meeting information and materials on the city's website. The meeting will now come to order, and I ask Deputy Clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Gruber,
Here.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Present, ma'am.
Councilmember Lupien,
Here.
Councilmember Martin,
Here.
Councilmember Monroe,
Here.
Councilmember Patterson,
Here.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Here.
and President Melendez.
Here. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge that it's Councilmember Gruber's birthday. I won't sing to you. You don't want to hear that. All right. In addition, this month I would like to ask the council and the community to join me in a moment of silence to acknowledge all of our ancestors, and during this Hispanic Heritage Month, those who I stand on the shoulders on. One thing I wanted to share with the community is, for me, my father was a major influence on my life. Unfortunately, I lost him at the age of 15. He was a Jibaro, which is, a country boy, I guess you could say, from the island of Puerto Rico. Came here in the 1970s and was a hardworking man and taught me everything I needed to know at the time about being committed to community, committed to the culture, committed to family. And all of us, I'm sure, share similar stories of people in our lives here on the dais that have impacted all of us. So I'd like to acknowledge all of our ancestors in a moment of silence. Thank you. Councilmember Gruber, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? So Hispanic Heritage Month runs from September 15th to October 15th. In the spirit of Hispanic Heritage Month, we invited Borinquen Dance Theater dancers, led by Nidia Padilla Rodriguez, to come to do a performance for us. Dancers, if you are ready, please join us. So at this time, I'd like to invite my council colleagues to join me at the dais, and please stick around, Borinquen Dance. First of all, what an incredible performance. Thank you all. So I would like to acknowledge Borinquen Dance Theater. The Borinquen Dance Theater nurtures the artistic, academic, and cultural development of area children through discipline of dance and distinctive Latin flair and flavor. Students, on behalf of the Rochester City Council, we are proud of you and your commitment and love for dance. We know that Borinquen Dance Theater teaches you more than just dance. Life skills, education, the importance of your future. You are our future. Somos nuestro futuro, and we are proud of you and to have you here among City Council. So we'll take a moment just to take some pictures. Thank you. At this time, can the individuals who are on the Hispanic Heritage Month Committee from the city, county, and other entities please join us up front at the dais? Let's start by giving this group a large round of applause for all their work. Each year we observe National Hispanic Heritage Month in the city of Rochester from September 15th to October 15th. On behalf of Rochester City Council, we want to recognize you for creating and celebrating the opportunities of our histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The observation started in 1968 on September 15th because of the anniversary of independence for Latin American countries such as Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Many thanks to all of you for all of your hard work and dedication of the Hispanic Heritage Committee to ensure that our Latino residents, our Latinx citizens, are seen and celebrated. You all work each and every day to uplift and protect our community, Due to your commitment, passion, and duty to our culture, our community has never been stronger. Thank you all, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month. At this time, I'd like to invite Coach Curtis and the winners of the inaugural Flower City Open to come up to the dais, please. So first and foremost, Curtis, we would like to celebrate you for creating the first tennis tournament at Genesee Valley Park in 20 years. Thank you for providing our residents a space to have fun in sportsmanship and competition. Also, we would like to congratulate all the players who participated in the Flower City Open Tennis Tournament. Congratulations. So I'd like to give Councilmember Gruber just a moment, just because you're the birthday boy, and I know this was important to you, to just say a few words.
I specifically did not let runners-up come, because otherwise I'd be standing there with them. I lost to these two gentlemen right here. Father and son duo. I just want to thank Coach Carter for really helping us activate our courts and bring in so many people into our parks. We had 60+ teams come to Genesee Valley Park to play tennis, to be with each other, and to really celebrate the beauty of what Rochester has to offer. So thank you, Coach, and congrats to all the winners.
Take a moment for pictures. Can the Urban Forest Planning Committee, tree ambassadors, and members of the Highland Planning Team, if here, please join us in the front. Let's give them all a round of applause. So I recognize many familiar faces wearing many hats in our community, so I want to start by thanking you all on behalf of City Council and the citizens of Rochester, New York. We'd like to thank you for your hard work and dedication to carry out the Urban Forest Master Plan, an important initiative of this administration and our City Council. Whether as a tree ambassador on the Urban Forest Master Plan Advisory Committee or the Highland Planning Team, your contribution was necessary and instrumental. Thank you for your commitment to our city. And last but certainly not least, can all of the representatives of the labor unions who represent our Rochester citizens please come to the front? As a continuation of our celebration of Labor Day here in the city of Rochester, we want to extend our gratitude to you all. Because of unions, all of us have been afforded safer workplaces, working conditions, and fair wages. We support every worker's freedom to join a union to make their workplaces better and to negotiate for the wages and benefits they deserve. On behalf of City Council and the citizens of Rochester, thank you all for the work you do to protect workers' rights in our city. I would be remiss without also calling out the fact that there's been so many individuals who've come to council members with issues that we've been able to have conversations with union members about and get guidance on. So we really appreciate your work in supporting us as we navigate how to better support our citizens and our workers here in the city of Rochester. Thank you again. So before we move on with the agenda, I just want to make sure those who are here tonight that would like to leave, now is probably the best opportunity before we get into the business of the normal council meeting. You're welcome to stay, but this is the moment we transition to business. So next we have the approval of the minutes by Councilmember Martin.
Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting on August 20th, 2024 be approved as published in the official sheets of the proceedings.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The following documents are hereby directed to be received and filed. The mayor submits the following: administrative cancellation or refund of erroneous taxes and charges for the month of July 2024. Grant accounting report for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2024, April 1st through June 30th, 2024. The council submits disclosure of interest forms from Vice President Harris on introductory number 328 and Councilmember Gruber on introductory numbers 339, 340, and 371.
Thank you. These documents will be received and filed. It is time for the presentation and reference of any petitions or any other communications. Are there any petitions? Hearing none, we'll now move on to the introduction of and action upon local laws, ordinances, and resolutions. There's a statement of necessity before us. Yesterday, the mayor submitted a statement of necessity regarding introductory number 385, which amends resolution number 2024-44 in regard to the replacement and maintenance of underbridge lighting facilities on the Interstate 490 bridges over Platt Street. So I'll now take a motion and a second to consider that introductory.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. So we'll vote on consideration. All in favor? Actually, excuse me. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, we'll move on to adopting introductory number 385. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber?
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot?
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien?
Yes.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Said no? Oh, yes, okay. Councilmember Monroe?
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused. Vice President Harris?
Yes.
And President Melendez?
Yes, the motion carries. Chairperson Patterson, the Neighborhoods, Jobs, and Housing Committee report, please.
Thank you. To the council, the Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 327, authorizing the sale of real estate. Introductory number 328, authorizing an agreement with the Land Bank regarding the acquisition of properties at tax foreclosure auctions. Introductory number 329, resolution authorizing the appointment to the Electrical Examining Board. Introductory number 330, resolution authorizing the appointment to the Examining Board of Plumbers. Introductory number 331, authorizing an agreement for economic development services. Introductory number 332, authorizing the sale of real estate, appropriations and agreements and amendments, and agreements and amending the 2024-2025 budget for the First Genesis Single Family Homes Project. Hooray! Introductory number 333, amending ordinance number 2018-180 relating to the Restore New York Communities Initiative Program Round 5 projects at 176 through 182 East Main Street and 186 East Main Street. Introductory number 334, authorizing an agreement to provide public outreach and education services for the lead hazard control program. Introductory number 335, authorizing an agreement for training services for housing rehabilitation programs and lead hazard control program. Introductory number 336, authorizing a grant application for a vacant rental improvement program. Introductory number 338, authorizing the application for a downtown revitalization initiative round 8 grant focusing on the Four Corners section of downtown. Introductory number 381, amending the 2024 budget and authorizing an agreement for the Rochester eviction pilot project. The Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee recommends for consideration the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 337, amending the 2017 through 2018 annual action plan relating to business development programs. This report is respectfully submitted by Council members Mitch Gruber, Kimberly Smith, Vice President Lachey D. Harris, President Miguel A. Melendez Jr., and myself, Michael A. Patterson.
Thank you, Chairperson Peterson. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 327, authorizing the sale of real estate. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 328, authorizing an agreement with the Land Bank regarding the acquisition of properties at the tax foreclosure auctions.
I have a question about this one.
Councilmember Lupian?
I didn't have the opportunity to be at the NBD committee meeting this month, so I understand that there was time for me to submit this ahead of time, but I don't want to let it go without asking this. So your Corporation Council, your advice is for the Land Bank to no longer use its super bid power to acquire properties, and I understand, this is referencing a Supreme Court decision that says it's unlawful for a former property owner not to be able to bid on the house. I am worried about the ability of the Land Bank to be able to acquire properties, and especially properties affordably if we're having to go into the mix and compete with other bidders. My question is, if the property owner has not registered for the auction, couldn't the Land Bank use its super bid power in that instance?
Corporation Council, we're going to swap mics. Thank you, Chair Lightfoot, Councilmember Lightfoot.
Take an initiative.
It's a hands-on council.
Hands-on, Councilmember.
Councilmember Lightfoot to the rescue. Thank you. So it's really not about the owner per se being able to come to the auction. I'm happy to give you a little more information on why the Trump bid is at risk, but we have serious concerns that it will undermine the legitimacy of the sale. So this approach, where we basically forgive the tax lien, is kind of the way to continue to give the Land Bank an edge while skirting the legal limitations on the Trump bid.
Okay, so two follow-up questions. One, it does say in the explanation here that this held that the strict foreclosure schemes were unlawful where a former property owner is entitled to a sale of the property at public auction and is entitled to any surplus generated. So it seems to me that that is an important piece of the puzzle here.
Yep, and I can clarify that, but in short, it's not a question of the owner being able to be at the auction. So for instance, if my property is worth $30,000,
because they're entitled to this, I see.
Right, and there's a $10,000 tax lien on it. In theory, it goes to a public auction, and with no Trump bid there, your public auction should approximate what the appraised value is, right? You're approximating the fair market
So the
value.
owner wouldn't get the fair market value surplus,
Right.
I understand.
And so then the Trump bid cuts off that surplus for the owner or other lien holders, and that's what the courts have said are inappropriate. And so by having the Land Bank bid actively, the owner and any lien holders would still have a right to the excess, but the Land Bank then wouldn't have to pay, under what we're proposing here, the amount owed to the city up to $500,000. So the city would basically be subsidizing the Land Bank so that we could avoid the legal pitfalls and still give the Land Bank an edge in taking these properties.
That's helpful. I understand that. I do see Commissioner Miller. Do we, as a Land Bank, have we thought through like what our maximum, how competitive are we going to be in these auctions to make sure that we're still getting a steady supply of Land Bank properties?
I think that's a trickier question than I can answer right now, but we can certainly talk to you about it.
Are we confident that we're going to be able to continue to have steady supply of land bank properties?
The key is probably going to be to go through the list of foreclosure properties pretty carefully and understand which of the properties are likely to go for a reasonable price, right? So we're not going to take the sweetest properties and we're not going to take the garbage. But I think that's all going to be part of the calculus, and that's something the land bank and MBD and law will have to work on together to identify those.
And I understand that this is kind of, this legislation isn't whether or not we're going to use our super bid, but how we're going to get around not using it.
That's right.
So I will support it, but I am very, I'd like to have more updates and from y'all about how we're going to move forward and, you know, be able to rehab these properties and get them into good ownership. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, so now we're considering introductory number 328. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 329, a resolution authorizing an appointment for the electrical examining board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 330, a resolution authorizing an appointment to the examining board of plumbers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 331, authorizing an agreement for economic development services. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 332, authorizing the sale of real estate, appropriations, and agreements, and amending the 2024-25 budget for the First Genesis family homes project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Introductory number 333, amending ordinance number 2018-180 relating to the Restore New York Communities Initiative Program Round 5 project at 176 to 182 East Main Street and 186 East Main Street. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 334, authorizing an agreement to provide public outreach and educational services for the lead hazard control program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 335, authorizing an agreement for training services for housing rehabilitation programs and lead hazard control program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 336, authorizing a grant application for a vacant rental improvement program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 337, amending the 2017-2018 annual action plan relating to business development programs. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 338, authorizing an application for a downtown revitalization initiative, Round 8 grant focused on the Four Corners section of downtown. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 381, amending the 2024-25 budget and authorizing an agreement for the Rochester eviction project pilot. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Vice President Harris, the People's Parks and Public Works Committee, please.
Thank you, President Melendez. To the Council, the People Parks and Public Works Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 339, bond ordinance to finance the cost of Rundle Memorial Library envelope repairs. Introductory number 340, related to the American Rescue Plan Act funds for Rundle Memorial Library. Introductory number 341, an amendatory agreement related to the 2024 milling and resurfacing. Introductory number 342, related to the bus stop improvements project. Introductory number 343, for the Interloop North Transformation Project. Introductory number 344, the North Clinton Avenue Milling and Resurfacing Project. Introductory number 345, a bond ordinance to finance the 2025 LED upgrades and pole replacement. Introductory number 346, using the American Rescue Plan Act funds for the Rochester Public Market Shed C Replacement Project. Introductory number 347, relating to the Environmental and Climate Justice Community Change Grants Program. Introductory number 348 for the Hemlock Filtration Plant Filter Rehabilitation Project. Introductory number 349 for engineering services and bipartisan infrastructure law lead service line replacement. Introductory number 350, a bond ordinance to finance a portion of the city's conduit modernization project 2024 phase 1. Introductory number 351, a bond ordinance for a portion of the city's conduit modernization project 2024 phase 2. Introductory number 352, for the employment of foster care and transfer associate for Rochester Animal Services. Introductory number 353 related to the Peacemaker Fellowship Program. Introductory number 354 relating to the Department of Recreation and Human Services e-sports program. Introductory number 355 authorizing an agreement for call center services, crisis intervention services. Introductory number 356, an agreement for a market management platform and software support for the public market. Introductory number 357, related to the digital equity competitive grant program. Introductory number 358, amending ordinance for the War Memorial Ice Plant Replacement Project. Introductory number 359, ARPA funds for the Goodman Firehouse improvements. Introductory number 360, amending bond ordinance for 2024-231 of the City of Rochester, New York. Introductory number 361, related to the installation of electrical vehicle charging stations. Introductory number 376, related to the Comprehensive Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Grant Program. Introductory number 377, related to the Reconnecting Communities Pilot Discretionary Grant for the Interloop North. This report is respectfully submitted by Councilmember Willie J. Lightfoot, Councilmember Mary Lupien, Councilmember Michael A. Patterson, Council President Miguel A. Melendez, Jr., and myself, Lachey D. Harris.
Thank you, Vice President Harris. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 339, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $1,825,000 bonds of said city to finance the cost of the Rundell Memorial Library exterior building envelope repairs. There is one disclosure for this item. Councilmember Gruber is the council liaison to the Rochester Public Library Board, so he's only required to disclose this information and is able to participate in discussion and the vote. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber? Councilmember Lightfoot?
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien?
Yes.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe?
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused. Vice President Harris?
Yes.
President Melendez?
Yes. The motion carries. Introductory number 340, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds for the Rundell Memorial Library exterior building envelope repairs. Councilmember Gruber also discloses on this item but can participate. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 341, authorizing appropriation and an amendatory agreement related to the 2024 milling and resurfacing project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 342, authorizing appropriations and agreement for the bus stop improvements project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 343, authorizing an agreement for the Interloop North Transformation Project. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 344, authorizing appropriation for the North Clinton Avenue Milling and Resurfacing Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 345, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $1 million bonds of said city to finance the 2025 LED upgrades and pole replacement project. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber?
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot?
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien?
Yes.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe?
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused. Vice President Harris?
Yes.
President Melendez?
Yes. The motion carries. Introductory number 346, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds and authorizing an agreement for the Rochester Public Market Shed C Replacement Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 347, authorizing agreement and appropriation related to the Environmental and Climate Justice Community Change Grants Program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 348, authorizing an agreement for the Hemlock Filtration Plant Filter Rehabilitation Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 349, authorizing an agreement for engineering services for the bipartisan infrastructure law lead service line replacement project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 350, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $2,495,000 bonds of said city to finance a portion of the city's conduit modernization project 2024 phase 1. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. Motion carries. Introductory number 351, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $350,000 bonds of said city to finance a portion of the city's conduit modernization project phase 2, 2024 phase 2. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. Motion carries. Introductory number 352, authorize an agreement relating to the employment of a foster care and transfer associate for Rochester Animal Services. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 353, authorize an agreement relating to the Peacemaker Fellowship Program. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 354, authorize an agreement relating to the Department of Recreation and Human Services eSports Program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 355, amending ordinance number 2024-136, authorizing an agreement for call center services for the Crisis Intervention Services Unit. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 356, authorizing an agreement for a market management platform and software support services for the public market. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 357, authorizing application and agreements for funding digital equity competition grant program initiatives. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 358, amending ordinance number 2023-66 relating to an agreement for the Blue Cross Arena at the War Memorial Ice Plant Replacement Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 359, appropriating ARPA funds for the Goodman Firehouse Priority Facility Improvements. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 360, amending bond ordinance number 2024-231 of the City of Rochester, New York. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. Motion carries. Introductory number 361, authorize an agreement related to installation of direct current fast charging electric vehicles charging stations. All in favor,
President,
please.
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilmember Patterson.
yes, I would like to speak to this item, and after I get done speaking to it, I'd like to offer a motion. So I am absolutely in favor of fast DC charging. I am absolutely in favor of the conversion of our fleet to something that is much more environmentally friendly. I am deeply opposed to the notion of placing the equivalent of gas stations in a public park and at a rec center, because that is what a fast charging station is. It is for charging a vehicle. Though I am in favor of the concept, I am absolutely opposed to these two locations, not because they're not in the Northeast, which is, I'm sure, what most folks would think the issue. The issue is, look, parks serve a lot of purposes, but a place to queue up to charge your car shouldn't be one of them. We have commercial corridors that better serve that need. Rec centers serve tremendous purposes in our community, but they shouldn't be a place where you queue up to charge your car. Because I got kids running around back and forth in there, and even though that rec center ain't in my district, it's still, these are still all our kids, and that is one of the busiest rec centers we have in this city. It is my hope to offer a motion that we could get some support behind, where we would return this item to committee for further consultation with the organization and explaining to them that everything just doesn't go anywhere, and that these are locations that we value and hold in esteem, and as such, no sir, you just can't throw a gas station in them. So
Is that an official motion?
So yes, that's the official motion.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. So any further discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian?
I'm with you about halfway, Councilmember Patterson. Fast chargers usually charge your car up in an hour. And so what do we want the people charging who may or may not be from our area to be doing for that hour? And I think that we have to be thinking intentionally about how could we use this potentially for economic development. Mm-hmm. I can see the idea of, enjoying our parks for that hour, but I'm not sure that's the best use of that opportunity. I can see for our residents that might want to fast charge and while they're, at the Ryan Center waiting for their kids to be done with their football game. But I think, to your point, we need to think more about it, and that's why I support sending it back to committee.
And to that point, I was in a car accident back in July, so I spent the month of August in an electric vehicle. Luckily, I have a charging point at my house that I could use, but there were times when I was out when I just needed a fast charge, and the only real charging location that I could go to was Eastview Mall. So for that half hour I was fast charging, I was in the mall, spending money.
Yep.
And it's my hope that we could look at our commercial corridors and work on placing a fast charging location in a place where, I don't know, maybe a gas station was at. We have plenty of brownfields in this city that were old gas stations. Why not there? Why not on a commercial corridor? So that's the request, just that we return it back to committee, have a conversation, because for them to for this entity to just say, well, we like the park and the rec center, I don't think that's where we want this infrastructure to go.
Council.
Can I just ask a question, just for speed and efficiency?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, would you consider modifying your motion to remove the location? And then we can come back and let you know where the location is, just so we can move this along. If not, it's going to add more time. But we don't have to do, we can remove the locations that they're here.
Well, if we,
I'm surprised the location is actually even listed here.
Well, I guess my only concern is if we remove the locations, what keeps us from saying, well, okay, yeah, we thought about it, we're just going to go with those same two locations?
No, I would say, being that there's concerns about them being in the park, I hear that. So
I think that's why we wanted to return it back to committee, and then that way, if we need to amend it later on, it's in committee, it's held, and then we can amend it and go forward. But that's just the request, because you know, I don't expect to pick a spot right now, but I mean, you know, next to the old Nick Tahoe's, there's an old gas station that's being torn down and renovated. We've got a lot of locations. We got a brownfield, we got an old gas station around the corner from City Hall by one of our fire stations. We've got plenty of old locations that were gas stations that were on commercial strips. And it's just that this is even though we're moving away from gasoline to electric, it's still effectively a gas station. So where do you put gas stations? Well, you don't put them in parks. You put them on commercial corridors. And that's the concern.
Councilmember Martin.
So, two things. I do think it's important for people to be able to charge their vehicles and not have to spend money while they're doing it. I do like that there's one being offered at Cobb's Hill Park so people can go on walks, engage with nature, hang out at the Ryan Center while it's being charged. So I'm not opposed to the locations, but I would like to hear more about the thought process behind selecting these two locations and maybe more about the other locations that were offered to the organization. Additionally, my understanding is procedurally, if we did remove the locations, it would be an amendment and that would have to be submitted in writing. So I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, and I would say too, I mean, I guess to go back to committee, and I think we should have a larger location about, a conversation about the locations. Because I actually agree with Councilmember Martin on this, because I don't know if I see this as a gas station. And I think we could even have experts from NYSERDA even come and speak to, I mean, this is not going to create a brownfield in our park. Mm-hmm. So I think that we should, I'm fine with this going back to committee. I mean, I don't think it makes sense to spend a lot of time talking here about locations, but I think we should have a broader conversation about electrical charging stations versus ExxonMobil putting it in the park. We would not put a gas station in the park. So, and I think the locations were chosen for some reasons that Councilmember Martin mentioned, the proximity. So I'm fine with it going back to committee. I would just ask that we not, I mean, this is something that's not costing the city any dollars. They can go do this elsewhere. So I would just, that would just be my only point. But Commissioner Parent, I think if tomorrow we can talk to some of the experts as it relates to the locations. I mean, there are charging stations in a lot of other parks across the county. So.
All right, Councilmember Gruber.
Yeah, Mayor, I would agree, and Councilmember Patterson, I would respectfully suggest that not only are these not gas stations, but I think we currently do have charging stations at many libraries. We have one here at City Hall. It's more of a parking lot than a gas station. And every place that we have public parking lots, I would hope that we do have charging stations, including fast charging stations if we can. So I respectfully disagree, and I would like to move the item forward. If we are going to hold it, is there any potential detrimental impact on funds? Because this is from a grant ultimately that we received at one point to be able to assess locations, correct, Commissioner?
That is correct.
So is there any potential ramifications if we hold this for a month? Because I think that if we all sit down together, we can come up with a pretty good solution we all agree with. But are there any potential ramifications from holding it?
That's something we'll have to investigate further. This is a private business using those funds, and as noted in the questions to the committee, to the council, there was a full committee that reviewed these locations. So I can't speak to the intentions or the future intentions of a private business.
So the grant, though, which came from which came from the state, correct? The grant came from the state, and there's no
through NYSERDA, yes.
The only question here is if Livingston Energy Group is going to be so perturbed by us holding it for a month that they walk away. That would be the only potential concern. Is that correct?
It's always a possibility. I think that's always a possibility.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that's the only potential concern. There's no loss of grant dollars that we got from NYSERDA, anything like that. That's the question I'm asking.
I'd like the opportunity to investigate that.
Well, I mean, sadly, if my colleagues are going to choose to hold it, I don't think we'll have the chance to investigate.
Well, we won't, and if we just lose the grant, it'll be an unfortunate proposition for the city. That's it. I mean, we're not going to. I mean, no tax dollars are being expended here. But I mean, for this, I mean, the energy that it would take for us is
The agreement is between the state and the company. It's not between us.
and it's not between us. So it just makes it more complicated. But I mean, from a grand thing of all the things we have to worry about in the city, I just think the administration, if it's held, it's held. If it's not, and we'll report back if we lose the grant. If we lose it, maybe we'll get lucky on the next one.
Okay. Well, personally, I will be voting against returning it to committee myself, but I'm sharing my perspective, and I'd like us to get to the point where we have fast charging stations at every library, rec center, public market, and every other public parking lot that we own.
All right, Councilmember Lupien.
If we are in danger of losing the grant, which seems very unlikely, I would hope that administration would come to council and we could have an emergency action of some sort where I'm more than willing to come back to make sure we don't lose the grant. And I also just want to note for the record that Councilmember Patterson and I agree on something.
We call this the stop clock paradox.
Right. You know, I'll just say that we agree on like 95% of legislation based on the record tonight, but
I think what I'm getting is clocks are right twice a day, right?
clocks are right twice a day. So we have a motion that was seconded on the floor to return the item to committee. So we will do a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
No.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
No.
Councilmember Lupien,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
No.
Councilmember Monroe,
No.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
No. So with that, we do have the item to consider. So appreciate the discussion on the item. I think there's a lot of discussion to be continued to have on the issue of fast charging stations in the city of Rochester. So we'll vote on introductory number 361, authorizing an agreement related to installation of direct current fast charging electric vehicle charging stations. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Do a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
No.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
No.
President Melendez.
Yes. Motion carries. Introductory number
Sorry,
370.
before we move on, do we have the administration's commitment to come back to us and discuss the locations?
Yeah, locations, but I think we also should have a conversation just about electrical charging stations because
Maybe.
you're going to see a lot of these.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get dollars because we want to get as many of these as possible all over the place because we want to encourage people as part of our climate plan to drive electric cars. So I recommend a work session on this about this locations and just in general what our approach is going to be. Because if people are opposed to it being in parks or rec centers, we should have that conversation. Because I will tell you that's where we are going to look to put a lot of these because that's where a critical mass of people are on a regular basis.
For me, it's more the distribution of the district, and I would like to understand the committee's thought process around selecting those two locations, and have we considered the potential economic benefit of locating them somewhere?
Yeah, I think that, but also the quadrants of the city to make sure they're equally distributed in all of the council districts,
right,
and in all the quadrants of the city, but also locations. Like we want to make sure that we're not in this situation again where if we say, okay, we want to have one over at Danforth or somewhere else that, there's an issue with that.
All right, we'll move on to introductory number 376, authorizing agreements and appropriations for the Comprehensive Adolescence Pregnancy Prevention Grant Program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 377, authorizing an application for a Reconnecting Communities Pilot Discretionary Grant for the Interloop North Transformation Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Gruber, the Budget, Finance, and Governance Committee report, please.
To the council, the Budget, Finance, and Governments Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 362, appropriating funds and authorizing an amendatory agreement for subrecipient monitoring and evaluation services for programs funded by the American Rescue Plan Act. Introductory number 364, authorizing an amendatory agreement and amending the 24-25 budget to support the Office of Financial Empowerment. Introductory number 365, authorizing an agreement relating to the Kiva Rochester program. Introductory number 366, amending the 24-25 budget for the Children's Savings Account program. Introductory number 367, authorizing an amendatory agreement for the Children's Savings Account program. Introductory number 368, authorizing an agreement for the Sunday Game Tailgate event. Introductory number 369, authorizing an agreement for the 2024 Rock Holiday Village event. Introductory number 370, amending the 24-25 budget to fund information technology networking upgrades. Introductory number 371, authorizing an agreement for a New York State Education Department for library construction grant funds. Introductory number 372, authorizing the cancellation or refund of erroneous taxes and charges. Introductory number 378, authorizing a mandatory agreement relating to Infor Asset Management Solution licensing for the Water Bureau. Introductory number 382, appropriating funds, amending the 24-25 budget, and authorizing an agreement for the New American Collaborative. The Budget, Finance, and Governance Committee recommends for the following entitled legislation to be held in committee. Introductory number 363, appropriating funds and amending the 24-25 budget relating to the Financial Empowerment Center. This report was respectfully submitted by Council Member Stanley Martin, Council Member Bridget Monroe, Council Vice President Lachey Harris, Council President Miguel Melendez, and myself, Mitch Gruber.
Thank you, Chairperson Gruber. That report will be received, filed, and published, and will proceed with the vote. Introductory number 362, appropriating funds and authorizing a mandatory agreement for subrecipient monitoring and evaluation services for programs funded by the American Rescue Plan Act. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 364, authorizing a mandatory agreement and amending the 2024-25 budget to support the Office of Financial Empowerment. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 365, authorizing an agreement relating to the Kiva Rochester program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 366, amending the 2024-25 budget for the Children's Savings Account program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 367, authorizing a mandatory agreement for the Children's Savings Account program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 368, authorizing an agreement for the Sunday Game Tailgate event. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 369, authorizing an agreement for the 2024 Rock Holiday Village event. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 370, amending the 2024-25 budget to fund information technology networking upgrades. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 371, authorizing a grant agreement for a New York State Education Department for library construction grant funds. There is a disclosure on this item from Councilmember Gruber, as he's the liaison to the library board, but he may participate in the discussion and the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 372, authorizing the cancellation or refund of erroneous taxes and charges. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 378, authorizing a mandatory agreement relating to the Infor Asset Management Solution licensing for the Water Bureau. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 382, appropriating funds, amending the 2024-25 budget, and authorizing an agreement for the New American Collaborative. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Introductory number 383, local law amending the city charter with respect to the Director of Purchasing and Assistant Director of Purchasing offices. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, excuse me. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. Motion carries. Introductory number 384, amending chapters 8, 8A, 10, and 106 of the Municipal Code with respect to the Director of Purchasing and Assistant Director of Purchasing offices. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Lightfoot, the Public Safety Committee report, please.
Yes, Mr. President. To the Council, the Public Safety Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 373, amending the 2024-2025 budget to carry over unspent grant funds for the Police Department. Introductory number 374, authorizing an agreement for a law enforcement technology grant. And introductory number 375, authorizing a grant agreement appropriating matching funds and amending the 2024-2025 budget for the 2023 Assistance to Firefighter Grant Program. Respectfully submitted by Councilmember Dr. Mitch Gruber, Councilmember Mary Lupian, Councilmember Stanley Martin, Councilmember Bridget Monroe, Councilmember Michael A. Patterson, Councilmember Kim Smith, Council Vice President Lachey Harris, Council President Miguel Melendez, and myself, Willie J. Lightfoot.
Thank you, Chairperson Lightfoot. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 373, amending the 2024-25 budget to carry over unspent grant funds for the Police Department. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 374, authorizing a grant agreement for law enforcement technology grant. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No. And
We'll do a roll call really quick, and then, do you have a comment? Sorry.
Yeah, I think, so I appreciate the responses that RPD gave to my questions regarding the programs and the details. For me, it is a no, because although there are aspirations to work on privacy and how it impacts our community, that hasn't happened yet. So I can't support spending funds on surveillance without strong existing policies that protect people from overreach, a certain level of surveillance. I think there just needs to be clearer policies that exist before approving something like this. But I do appreciate the effort. I gained so much insight with your explanations to my questions.
Thank you. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
No.
Councilmember Martin,
No.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith is excused, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Introductory number 375, authorizing a grant agreement appropriating matching funds and amending the 2024-25 budget for the 2023 Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I will now read the Committee of the Whole report. To the Council, the Committee of the Whole recommends the adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 379, resolution confirming the appointment of the Fire Chief. Introductory number 380, resolution confirming the appointment of the Chief Technology Officer. This report was respectfully submitted by Council members Mitch Gruber, Willie J. Lightfoot, Mary Lupian, Stanley Martin, Bridget Monroe, Michael A. Patterson, Kim Smith, Vice President Harris, and myself, Miguel A. Melendez, Jr. So now we'll consider introductory number 379, a resolution confirming the appointment of the Fire Chief. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 380, a resolution confirming the appointment of the Chief Technology Officer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we conclude, any miscellaneous business? Councilmember Martin?
Yes. So earlier this week, the Police Accountability Board released investigative reports relating to 31 instances of allegations of misconduct. I do want to, on the record, thank Director Myers-Small, thank the board chair Larry Knox, and all the folks who are working to enact the mission of the charter. I do understand there are different legal positions from Corporation Counsel and from the PAB's own attorneys, and I know that we as counsel are working on getting our own legal advice and having our own attorney for our interest, but I'm just grateful to the PAB and excited to see that there is some transparency around the work they're doing, and it is now accessible to the public.
Thank you. Councilmember Patterson.
Okay, thank you. So I'd also like to comment on the PAB's release of records. In and of itself, I certainly am not opposed to the release of records if it were not for the very simple fact that the city of Rochester is currently engaged in litigation on this very issue in the highest court in the state of New York. I find it troubling that an organization that considers itself a quasi-judicial organization, which believes and has been given the right to review and in some cases comment on the conduct of police officers or any member of our city staff, would not show the discretion to wait for the item to be fully adjudicated before it acted. It's troubling and it's disconcerting. I feel that they have a duty to hold themselves to the highest standard, and in this instance, I do not believe that they have done that. The request and the comment to them was that, hey, you won in court, but it's been appealed. The highest court in the state of New York is taking into consideration this item. If the court did not feel that there were issues worthy of consideration, it simply could have refused to accept the appeal, but it didn't. And so in doing that, it is my belief that the PAB had a duty and an obligation to wait for the litigation to be completed. They obviously felt differently, and they did different. I find that troubling.
Yeah, so I'll just briefly comment on the matter, and then we'll close the meeting. So I did send a letter to Dr. Myers-Small and the board chair this afternoon. I believe that this matter, just as we waited its course with discipline and went to the highest court in the state relative to discipline powers, this matter could have waited a moment, but I understand that other municipalities and other places across the state have released reports. So there is some precedent in the state for such a thing. So at this point, my position is actually to engage with some additional outside counsel to get some expertise for us as a council to really go through different sets of issues that we've encountered in the last couple months related to the work sessions we've been participating in. And certainly I respect the legal opinions of folks who are municipal lawyers and have done this work before, but I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV. So I think it's important that we get some outside expertise, so we'll be working towards that end. So with that, I'd like to close the meeting with no further business. We stand adjourned.